Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's an honor for us with HSMAI to be here to wrap up these 3 days of learning and networking. And time flies when you're having fun. I just arrived. It feels like 3 days has just gone in a second. My name is Janicke Hansen. I'm with HSMAI Europe, and we're really happy with the collaboration that we have with, on a global level with HEDNA, with the content sharing, and that's why we're here today. So I will let Raimund and Michael introduce themselves and their connections with HSMAI. And Raimund?
Thanks, Janicke. My name is Raimund. I'm a director of the revenue optimization for Preferred Travel Group, responsible for properties in Central Eastern Europe, roughly 50 properties, and support. So we support independent hoteliers on sales, marketing, and distribution. As I'm wearing two hats, as Janicke said, we are here as the HSMAI Europe. I have the honor to support the association as an advisory board member for the DACH advisory board. With this, handing over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Raimund. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael. I'm very happy to be here at the HEDNA conference, the first time in Munich, which is great for me since it's my hometown. I had the shortest approach of you all, 20 minutes this morning by car. Same as Raimund, I wear two hats today. First, I'm an independent consultant after being busy more than 30 years in the industry in various various positions. But mainly here today, I'm in my role as HSMAI member of the Global Advisory Board, and I'm very happy to have already met some of the other members, such as Paolo from Jumeirah and Vikram from Wyndham Hotels.
And we're all first-timers here at HEDNA, and thank you very much for including us so warmly in your community. Thank you. So just a wrap-up, like what is your favorite part of the conference?
Well, my favorite part always is knowledge transfer, and I was impressed about the highest level of professionalism that we met here. It was so great to hear experts speak on what they have learned and what they expect, and what their priorities are. Basically, that's always very important. For me, additionally to the Knowledge Transfers Network, I know some of you, and I met even more of you in the last 3 days, and that makes me very happy.
And you, Raimund?
To me, yes, it's still networking, and I had the pleasure to meet lots of you guys. This was really fantastic to exchange on thoughts, on ideas, to get the community and the knowledge growing. And about knowledge, we will wrap this up in a second as well. Is one of the topics throughout the 3 days. Even though still we started as an industry to break down silos, we still have those in place. So let's keep the good pace going in gaining progress and bringing this down. And of course, it's what is important is the customer experience and what comes into the sphere. It's the correlation of loyalty and payments. We heard also about this throughout the conference, which is really amazing and impressive. What ideas and thoughts out there, which kind of technology to support this. So this is something which is really, really interesting, and I'm really curious on the next steps and what's coming.
From a revenue point of view, do you have any key takeaways on?
To me, the most important points throughout the conference is really the focus on customer centricity and loyalty, and how those things really drive business, drive revenues in future. But we heard also on Tuesday about rate parity. So Matteo from Blasness was talking about price accuracy, and this was a very vibrant workshop, I would call it, as this is still a massive topic in our industry, and this goes with each and everybody, from the big guys, from the hard brands down to the independent hotels here. On the other side, what is really a pain point is still the high level of manual work, which is out there. So one of the big points in future will be how to improve automation and to embed IT in the commercial aspect, to really select on the right technology and ensure this is really embedded and could be integrated successfully and avoid many overlaps. On the other side, on a single discipline of revenue management, looking back to it was the early, we talked about this earlier today, the early 2000s when this entire thing really started, was yield management, revenue management. A lot of manual things happened, Excel sheets, rate parity checks on single dates on the internet. Is really the point on how this will develop in future. So it has developed, it has evolved over the last years. Much more technology came into this, including the revenue management system. So really curious on how this will develop in future and how functions like revenue managers will evolve then. And the last one big point to me, one big key takeaway is the point of talents, how to get talents, how to retain talents, how to improve the knowledge throughout our industry, and the associations can really be a great supporter in this. We heard earlier this morning about HSMAI as HSMAI. We have topics like or opportunities like Future You or the HSMAI commercial camp. So there are great opportunities out there provided by the associations to support on gaining knowledge.
So that was more from the revenue perspective, from the more commercial perspective, Michael.
Yeah, there are many key takeaways, and maybe just to pick a few. The best message for me was on a European basis, the business is perceived to grow again. We heard Florence Cassi from Focuswide telling us that there's a growth of 20% year over year, and that is good news. So I'm very happy to hear that after the previous years where we had, as we all know, some challenges. What I found very interesting from Cassi is to learn that the traveler's behavior has substantially changed. And I think this will have a great impact to our industry. I learned that travelers, most of them stay closer to home, so there will be an impact on our source markets marketing. And the other thing that I found extremely important in regards to distribution is that work and leisure become increasingly intertwined. So this will change our channel management, since corporate travel is completely distributed differently than leisure travel. What I find interesting out of those days is, again, what we said is that manual work is still increasing despite digitization. I found it extremely interesting to hear Fritz Müller from RateGain and Chris Murdoch speaking about that, how much manual effort we still have in content management, in campaign management, in payment, but furthermore in business intelligence and analytics. I think what we found as a key takeaway is how deep we are already in a transformation towards technology. I found it thrilling to hear Philipp von Dittfurt from Apaleos and Julius Anders from Numa Hotels, and also this morning Daniela from Ruby Hotels, to hear how much can be automated. That is an enormous transformation. However, some of our environment players seem to be very agile. Some of others seem to be quite slow. So I think there's like a pair of scissors opening that could define future winners and maybe losers.
We're talking a little bit about that because automation and new systems and everything is digitalized, and technology is kind of all over the place. The guest experience How would that be compared to, technology is taking over, contact, like direct contact, human to human, are getting less, or?
Yeah, I think we need to think about this. It is a great challenge of the industry that on the one hand, we become more tech-driven, and that is a good thing when it works towards the customer, the guest experience. If we look on the customer journey today, the magic word would be seamless, but we're still far apart from that. Before, during, and after the journey are 3 steps of a dance that are not synchronized in many ways. Why? Because still there is a big fraction of business going offline, half of the business basically, as we learned from H2C today. And second, because many of the hotel chains do not maintain systems that could enable a seamless journey. We learned this morning from Christine Hansen from H2C that only 55% of the European hotels have a CRM. That surprised me a lot. And only 40% of them have an active loyalty program. So I think in regards to guest experience, I think there is a long way to be gone before we really can speak that technologization, digitization brings again an effort towards customer experience.
And on talent, recruitment, retaining, what is the biggest challenges as you see from the wrap-up here?
I mean, the topic, to me, the topic as such is one of the biggest challenges in future. We have seen this throughout the pandemic and right after, how this really negatively impacted the properties. Some couldn't open, some reopened with limited inventory. Restaurants couldn't hardly open because they find the right stuff. So one of the big challenges, and I mean, even prior pandemic, our industry has grown. A lot of properties has opened around the globe. The cruise line has also very increased. And everybody is really looking for talents. And we had this very vibrant workshop with Nadia, Laszlo, and Victoria on Tuesday. This was a very good discussion on the pros and the challenges, or the opportunities and the challenges in future. So this is something which is really important to look in, to get talents, to train them, to keep them, to retain them. This is one of the milestones in future and one key to success. What else is truly important is sustainability. We heard this a couple of times throughout the conference. This is a massive topic in the industry and especially in the commercial scene. Looking at RFPs for the sales guys throughout Europe, there is no way out without an RFP, without answering any question about sustainability and being to this topic. And the last point is really the automation. I mentioned this earlier. We as an industry have a significant variety of technology out there, and the challenge in future will be how to combine, how to ensure an accurate integration and to avoid too many overlaps. So yes, we don't have an industry standard for API connectivities, for example. So this is still something which need to be developed. And we have to see how to align to have really a proper standing and to use and to monetize and take advantage of automation. I found it really interesting that morning Eric Brackman from Cordy was talking about the commerce media, and this is a very good example of how our industry and how the disciplines, specific functions, but the commercial team as such will develop and what need to be included. So the question really is, does the hotels have the commercial experts yet with the proper understanding and knowledge to leverage on all the aspects?
But just going back a bit to education and talent recruiting and retaining, you need to be quite tech savvy to be in all these kind of technical solutions, automation, everything is digital. Like what type of people do we need in the industry if you're both tech savvy and a people's person? Like, is it combinable? Can you learn the one thing or the other?
I think this is something which is truly important in future, and this is a great question, Janicke. Tech and those things, I'm pretty sure could be learned to a certain degree, but I personally think commercial teams have be widened up, and an IT specialist, a visionary, has to be included in this topic to really identify and set the stage what will be the technology for the specific hotel or hotel company to use over the next couple of years to really avoid you jumping around between technology providers which would keep you busy and distract you from your core business.
What's your take on that, Michael?
I agree to what Raimund said. I think there will be a new set of competences required in teams, but also in leadership. I think we cannot continue in the old matrix way where we command actions and control their fulfillment. That will not work any longer. I think the key stretch is that we have to combine tech competences and human touch, because hospitality still is a human business. So everything that increases satisfaction of customer, should it be tech-driven or should it be personal-driven, is okay, but it has to have the common goal, happy guests. Otherwise, it's senseless. We're not a technology company. We're not Google. So we have a different purpose of business. It's still hospitality. So I think leadership will change, training will change. Leadership must change in regards to bring people more together, more transversely together. I think the old time of silos, where revenue market management was completely separated from sales, completely separated from performance marketing or e-commerce, those are more or less over. If we don't follow the same KPI set, we will be kind of lost.
But thinking about travel, which used to be like a service or a product, it's now you buy an experience and you want everything around that, your whole customer journey to be personalized. How would this align with the new technology, automation? How can you bring the experience and the good customer experience into the landscape of tech?
Well, this is also a question of how technology will improve and what kind of law is out there, what are the regulations. But the question is how an RMS nowadays could really evolve. If I tailor it to revenue management in this case, so the question is what kind of data could be embedded for more accurate price recommendations. So this is something we talk since a couple of years. How can we ensure that technology is using, or revenue management system is using flight capacities, flight schedules, for example, weather forecast. How can it take those things into consideration? But then since last year, the huge impact of AI in the discussion ties into this. On the other side, we have short-term guest behavior changes, and it will constantly change. So how can all those things be embedded in technology to provide us as humans in the industry with very good predictions and recommendations? On the other side, something we discussed as an association back in May, if we look at data as such, it's not really unified. If you think of MICE data, we are still, I would say we are still in the 80s with this topic. If we look at benchmarking and how to utilize, to monetize a much better way as we do currently. So there is a lot of room to grow and to improve performances. From a total revenue management approach, I personally still struggle with the regular KPIs we have in place and we stress on a daily basis with RevPAR and so on. We do not focus enough, I would say, on the net RevPAR. So really taking the distribution and channel costs out and the way down to the GOP. So this is something, it should be more profitability driven in a total way, in a total overview, to really ensure we really honor the cost and do not have them included on the revenue side. What else? The role, I mentioned this earlier, the role of a revenue manager. It started with yield management, has evolved over the time, and it will evolve over the next time, breaking down silos, including sales and marketing, and maybe other functions into discussion might be really important and will become really important then. While reviewing the content and the discussions over the last days, I have a picture in mind I would like to share because we are in Germany, we're in Munich here, and we have great car factories, manufacturers throughout the country, and most of us really like the German highways, driving fast with cars. So this is my picture currently is we are all in one of those amazing cars driving down the highway and stuck in traffic jams quite often. So to wrap this up, to me the question is how we can come together in carpooling, etc., to get more speed to the industry and driving faster and achieve more. So this is my picture I have in mind was this sum up from the conference.
Carpooling, that's nice.
To drive, it's a question of how we can achieve more together as an industry.
But we've also heard earlier today there's a new player on maybe the distribution landscape, ChatGPT. Like you can now plan your trip and maybe soon book your trip through ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's impressive. We tried this morning when we prepared our little interview, and we asked ChatGPT to provide us with an itinerary for a Munich trip, 2 adults and 2 kids, and instantly the machine spilled out quite a plan. And since I'm local here, I would say yes, that achieved an 80% match to my requirements if I would recommend things to somebody being a complete stranger. So I think the impact of AI just scratched the surface in our industry. ChatGPT is generative AI, but there's way more functionality than that. And what will drive us, I think, in the future is the blend of humanity and technology. If artificial intelligence will enable us to stop manual work in order to be more personalized based on data, then it can be quite a powerful thing. However, today we see it not so often in practice. People talk about it, some of us used it, such as we did this morning, but in practical words, apart from chatbots, apart from automated reservation answers or maybe review answers, the practical use is limited. So I think there will be quite a revolution once tools really use in an enhanced way artificial intelligence methodologies in order to make a customer journey more smooth, more seamless, more attractive, and then people will spend more money. Then they will accept higher prices. Then we will see them more often in our hotels, and they will repeat being loyal guests. And I think this can be a key driver to be proven in the future.
Mm-hmm. But what does that mean for what type of content like hotels and hotel chains has out there if you're using, because we did a second search and it was like for the same family, what hotel would you recommend? And it pulled out 5-6 alternatives describing why this was a good alternative for a family. So what the content is out there, how because we don't know the algorithms of ChatGPT in the same way as we do with Google, partly.
algorithms are unclear. So Park Hilton was hotel number 3 recommended, which is good. Hello to the Hilton team. However, there were parts of content that we could not identify from where they are from. So the source of information today is unknown, and it is not live. ChatGPT relies on quite an old database, as we all know. So in regards to content distribution, content management, but also campaign management, AI will most probably completely change the way we work today.
And it shows how important this entire topic is. This is all created by humans, so we really have to focus and have to be a clear vision of what is our target audience, whom we're targeting for the specific property, to come up with the specific content, which doesn't have immediate impact, because ChatGPT relies on historic data. So it will take some time to refresh the content even for this AI technology.
And with that, we say thank you so much. And the only thing that stands between us and lunch is a group photo. So
we would like to encourage you. I mean, we're talking about automation and digitalization. So we encourage you, come up here in front and take a group picture here and show the world our great hospitality community. Come on, come in front.
Let's just go.